Well, welcome to Better Preparedness. This episode came up as a result of, no, not cycling, but actually a running race. And it really made me think about and appreciate the fact that I've been wearing a bike helmet for cycling for pretty much about 30 years. So here's a bit of the background. Okay. So last weekend I did a trail running race on a pretty extreme course out on a mountainside and really rough. And you'll see I'll show you a bit of the before and after clips that I took. One of them was before this, and the other one was, well, after I had a pretty hard impact on my head.
Well, good morning. Here it's race morning here in Heidlas, South Africa. Well, I finished the Heidlas 25K trail challenge, and I think I'm pretty finished. Fatigued a bit for sure, but also look a little beaten up. About 4K into the race, we're running through some field sections, and I clipped something with my right foot. Just couldn't get my other foot down fast enough and went, well, face first into the ground. So
my head hit the ground super hard, and it was a serious whack. Still took me 2.5 hours to finish this pretty long race. And during that time, I was thinking to myself, I hadn't had a head impact like that in cycling for about 30 years. And it kind of brought me back to, why I started wearing a bike helmet almost 30 years ago. And that was in high school. I started appreciating the, commuting to high school by bike. It saved me taking 2 buses and cut down my commuting time a lot. And but one time when I was biking home, I think it is, I was biking home and a driver quickly sped by me, jammed on the brakes, turned hard across my path, and I had nowhere to go but over their front fender, over the hood of the car, and hit the ground pretty hard, including my head. Fortunately, it wasn't a super serious one, but after that, we're talking the late 1980s, and there were these bike helmets. They're big clunky pieces of foam, styrofoam you had on your head. But ever since I've been wearing one of these bike helmets in various sorts, and I've been racing and commuting and traveling and hobby riding, just tootling around doing errands. But I've kind of pretty much been in the habit of wearing a bike helmet ever since. And the fall that I took running on the weekend was really kind of symbolic of falling off your bike at a slower speed. So like someone being careful and or maybe you're in slow moving bike traffic or something. I had not hit my head like that in about 30 years. And well, when I think about biking, and here's a helmet, for example. Now, the way I hit, I guess I could have damaged my jaw or something like that. But really, when it came down to it, shy of hitting an object, the helmet in so many times in these 30 years of wearing helmets has really protected my face and protected where your brain is. And when you think of major head trauma and major head injuries, it's this area in particular where the area the helmet is protecting and covering that is, well, the most important thing. So in all these years of hobby riding, of touring, of racing, and just biking with my kids, I've never once predicted the time I would fall and hit my head. And when you break a helmet in a fall, you're deforming it essentially. And that's absorbing the impact so that it's, well, not going to your brain. And I've clearly damaged 3 helmets in the past where I've had to replace them because they've been damaged in absorbing the fall. And that's a great thing. Those are 3 occasions where I didn't take an impact to the head. But this fall last weekend and the whack I took, it really reminded me that despite all my falls over the years, I fall here and there, but only sort of 3 ones where it was really a pretty big jaunt to the head, that all those had been protected by my helmets. So I guess it really made me appreciate, and this is such a controversial topic because in some countries and some cultures, or just simply, there are people who believe fundamentally against wearing bike helmets. Fine. I'm super happy that all these countries, including my own, are continuing to make advances in cycling infrastructure, keeping us a bit further away from cars at most of the time, improving laws, improving education. But nothing really changes that when if you still do whack your head, and it's unprotected from a helmet, you're going to suffer damage. Now, it could have been even more serious. I fortunately only hit really hard dirt ground. Had I hit, a rock or something like that, that would have been really nasty. But I guess the key to what I'm saying is I'm very happy I took that decision 30 years ago to adopt wearing bike helmets. And I think it's made me a lot safer ever since. And I'm glad that kids these days in most countries are growing up required to wear a helmet. This whole debate for adults of should it be mandatory or not, you know what, if it makes everyone happy, sure, don't make it mandatory. But I guess I see the value. So for me, it's not really mandatory, but I've kind of made it a strong habit. And I'm firmly in belief that it has made me a safer rider in all these years. Doesn't matter if we're talking about sport riding, racing, just doing errands, riding with my kids. Those times that I do fall and those times that I've hit my head, I'm sure glad I've been wearing a helmet. But those are my experiences. What are yours? Put them in the comment section below. Do you feel, has it taken something, an event for you to start wearing a helmet? Has there been something that's, or you've just fundamentally decided not to wear a helmet and you're happy with that? Well, share that in the comment section below. Click that like and subscribe button as well. There's the, the thumbs up and the subscribe button. And thanks for watching Better Preparedness. And well, stay safe.
Well done on clicking that subscribe button. Now you can watch a video like this one on emergency kits when you're out there in the outdoors. And how about this one on the importance of bringing ID with you?